Across the narrow waters of the English Channel, a new power had begun to notice Britain. Rome, the greatest military force the ancient world had ever seen. Its armies had conquered vast territories across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Now, its attention turned toward the mysterious island beyond the sea.
Leading the expedition was one of history's most famous commanders, Julius Caesar. Fresh from victories in Gaul, he was determined to push Rome's influence even farther. Britain represented both a military challenge. Landing was far more difficult than Caesar expected. British warriors had gathered along the coast, using the high ground to defend their homeland. The Romans fought their way ashore, but the island would not be conquered that day. The people of Britain had never faced an army like Rome's. Yet they knew every hill, every forest, and every river. Fiercely independent, the tribes united when they needed to defend the land they called home. Caesar returned to Britain the following year with a larger force, winning battles and securing promises from several tribal leaders. But he did not stay. His expeditions demonstrated Rome's reach, yet Britain remained beyond permanent Roman control. The island had been tested, but not conquered.
Nearly a century passed. Britain remained outside the Roman Empire, while Rome itself grew stronger than ever. But the island had not been forgotten. A new emperor would soon return with a very different plan.
Nearly 100 years had passed since Julius Caesar first crossed the Channel. Britain was still beyond Rome's control.
The time has come to bring the full road.
But in the year AD 43, Emperor Claudius made a decision that would change the island forever. This time, Rome wasn't coming to explore, it was coming to stay. Thousands of disciplined soldiers boarded hundreds of ships. Legionaries, cavalry, engineers, doctors, and supplies crossed the Channel together. It was one of the largest military expeditions Britain had ever seen. The Roman Empire had begun its greatest invasion of the island. The Roman army advanced with remarkable discipline. Every march was planned. Every bridge was engineered. Every camp was fortified before nightfall. They didn't simply fight battles. They brought an entire military system that few enemies could match. The tribes of Britain fought with extraordinary bravery. They knew the land better than any invader and refused to surrender easily. But Rome's strength was not just in courage, it was in organization, training, and relentless discipline. One by one, many tribal kingdoms fell under Roman control. Rome did more than conquer. It built. Along the River Thames, a new settlement began to grow. Known as Londinium, it would become one of the most important cities in Roman Britain. And centuries later, the heart of one of the world's greatest capitals. Wherever Rome settled, it left its mark. Roads connected distant communities. Bridges crossed rivers that once divided tribes. Houses, markets, villas, and forts transformed daily life. Britain was no longer just a collection of tribal lands, it was becoming part of an empire that stretched across 3 continents. But not everyone accepted Roman rule. In the years ahead, one woman would lead one of the most famous rebellions in ancient history. Her name was Boudica. Nearly 2 decades after Rome's conquest began, much of southern Britain had been brought under imperial rule. Yet not every tribe accepted life beneath the Roman eagle. Among the Iceni lived a queen whose name would echo through history, Boudica. After the death of her husband, King Prasutagus, relations between Rome and the Iceni collapsed. Ancient Roman writers describe harsh treatment of Boudica and her family, events that became the spark for a wider uprising. Although historians debate some details, there is little doubt that anger spread rapidly across eastern Britain. The rebellion swept across Roman Britain. Several settlements, including Londinium, were abandoned by Roman forces and destroyed during the uprising. Archaeological evidence still reveals layers of ash beneath parts of modern London, a reminder of how close Rome came to losing its grip on Britain. Rome responded with the discipline that had built its empire.
Form the leg tie!
Outnumbered but highly trained, Governor Gaius Suetonius Paulinus prepared his legions for one decisive battle. The future of Roman Britain would be decided in a single confrontation.
Courage alone could not overcome Rome's military machine. Despite fierce resistance, the Roman legions held their formation and gradually forced the rebels back. The uprising was crushed, and Boudica disappeared from history. Ancient accounts suggest she died soon afterward, though exactly how remains uncertain. Rome had survived its greatest challenge in Britain. But instead of abandoning the island, it strengthened its hold.
Over the next 3 centuries, Roman Britain would become more connected, more prosperous in many regions, and more deeply woven into the empire than ever before.
With the rebellion defeated, Rome tightened its grip on Britain. Conquest was only the beginning. Across the island, the empire built roads that connected distant communities, encouraged trade, and allowed armies to move with remarkable speed. Many of these routes would shape Britain's transport network for centuries to come. New towns flourished across Roman Britain. Stone buildings replaced wooden settlements. Public bathhouses, marketplaces, temples, and theaters became part of everyday life. For many people, Roman rule brought stability, commerce, and opportunities that earlier generations had never experienced. Roman influence reached far beyond the battlefield. New farming techniques improved harvests. Trade connected Britain with distant provinces. Coins became common. Latin appeared in official life. And ideas traveled alongside merchants. Britain was no longer on the edge of the Roman world. It had become part of it.
Far to the north, Rome faced a different challenge. Rather than conquer every tribe beyond its reach, Emperor Hadrian ordered the construction of one of the empire's greatest defensive structures. Stretching across northern Britain, Hadrian's Wall became both a military frontier and a powerful symbol of Roman authority.
For almost 4 centuries, Rome remained a defining presence in Britain. Generations were born, lived, and died under Roman rule. Children grew up speaking Latin alongside local languages, merchants traded across the empire, and Britain's identity slowly evolved under the influence of one of history's greatest civilizations.
But no empire lasts forever. By the late 4th century, Rome faced growing pressure on every frontier. Powerful enemies challenged its borders, political instability weakened its government, and resources became increasingly stretched. Britain, once an important province, was beginning to feel very far from the heart of the empire.
Around AD 410, Rome made a difficult decision. Faced with crises across the empire, it withdrew its remaining legions from Britain. After nearly 400 years, Roman rule had come to an end. The roads, towns, and walls remained, but the empire that built them was gone.
The departure of Rome left behind more than empty forts. It created a power vacuum. Across the North Sea, new peoples that would Britain's future. Their arrival would change the language, culture, and destiny of Britain forever. The Romans had gone, but Britain's story was only just beginning.